request Mr. H.M. Towhidur Rahman from University of Chittagong. His topic is a critical review of rights in labor legislation in Bangladesh, perspective of political economy. So I hope this is very interesting topic, and in our country we don't hear too much on this topic, on this issue, especially the right of the labor. So let's hear from Mr. Tawhidur Rahman.
So my name is Towhidur Rahman, and I'm from University of Chittagong from political science. And now I'm presenting my research work. There is My research topic is a critical review of rights in labor legislation in Bangladesh, perspective of political economy. Uh, Mainly, I want to review the rights of labor in our existing labor laws. Uh, in our existing labor laws, uh, the uh, main rights of labor uh, under the uh, under the uh, in light of uh, in light of uh, ILO convention or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, and I The political dynamics of labor law reforms in Bangladesh, like uh, we know that our independent country, the Bangladesh is an independent country, and the uh, independence has been done in 1971. So, uh, but in 1991, in our uh, the existing labor laws have been reformed in 1991. So there is a lot of political dynamics in our labor reforms in our country. Uh, I want to show that how the political dynamics of labor law reforms in our existing labor laws. I want to show that. Uh, the purpose of this paper is by chronological comparison and institutional analysis. This article provides a historical understanding of political dynamics of labor law reforms in Bangladesh. The historical understanding. We know that our country, um our country uh, has been governed British rule, has been governed Britishers, and after that, our country has been governed by Pakistani rulers. Uh, we know that there are a lot of laws in our country that that have been made by Britishers and Pakistani rulers, and in according to this, in according to that. Uh, uh, Labor law reforms in our country also uh, have been enacted in by Britishers and Pakistani rulers. Uh, I want to show that the historical understanding of labor law reforms in our country, uh, how our labor law in our existing labor law have been come uh, from from British and Pakistani rulers. I want to show that. And method of this paper, being a chronological comparison and institutional analysis, this paper is conceptual. Mainly, this paper is conceptual papers, but analytical approach has been applied in analysis and discussion. Data collection. My research is based on secondary data. Secondary data includes publicly disclosure materials, published reports, working papers, news articles, with an intensive literature review. My paper is based on mainly secondary data. Method of data analysis, it has been said that earlier, analytical approach has been applied in analysis and discussion. Expected findings. Mainly, I want to find out that the gap of existing labor laws in light of Universal Human Rights Declaration and ILO conventions. I want to show that the gap or the flaws of existing labor laws in light of Universal Human Rights Declaration. We know that Universal uh, Human Declaration had been declared in 1948, and to show that how much uh, correct or how much how much correct of our labor law in light of Universal Human Declaration or ILO conventions. And I want to identify that political economy of labor legislation in Bangladesh. Implication or significance, it will help to the lawmakers. Mainly, it will help to the lawmakers to reform laws or policies relating to the labors. Thank you, everyone. Uh, Thank you, all of you, to hear me.
Uh, thank you very much to Mr. Towhidur Rahman, HM Towhidur Rahman. I enjoyed your presentation. So I'd like to ask the current presenters, do you have any question for Mr. Towhidur Rahman to ask? If you have any question, just let him know your question and he will promptly answer your question if you have any. If not,
I have a
yeah,
question,
yes,
sir.
please.
Mr. Tawhidur Rahman, thank you for your nice presentation. I appreciate it. I have a question to you that your paper,
Yeah.
how your paper will implement in the specific society or community and will create an influence among them. Can you please explain?
Okay. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your nice question. Mainly, the paper uh, implications is that uh, our labor, you know that our labors, uh, there are many labors in different sectors, and they're deprived mainly. They are deprived. They are paid uh, low wages, uh, and I want to show that how uh, our politicians, or how our mainly economic giant pressure on labor reforms, on labor policies, that mainly our labor policies is not mainly our labor policies is uh, literally against the laborers. And I want to show that how our politicians or many businessmen uh, pressure on labor policies that make labors are very deprived, or that made to pay low labor wages. I want to show that. And your question speaks specifically the implications uh, our society, our mainly our lawmakers or policy makers will influence by our by my research paper, that will help to understand uh, the political economy of labor reforms, and to understand uh, and to reform the labor laws further in the future.
Thank you for your nice explanations. Thank you.